Yeah, what's going on, guys? Right, this is John Digger 1. Yeah, so it's part 3, I guess, of JD Plays Final Fantasy 12. Yeah, the last video, I believe I just entered Wraithfall's tomb. Just figured I wanted to capture all of that, like them demon walls got. I was OP, like it was ridiculous. Like yeah. So no, we've been through the Giza Plains. We've just entered the Osmone Plains. As you can see, the characters are pretty high up. I'd say, I guess, again, I'm still kind of I won't say I'm OP, I'd say I'm VP, very valuable at this present moment in the game. Clock 57 hours, mad. Don't know, Order Justice, done 14 hunts already. Like, the white moose was crazy. That if I should have captured that one. That was an epic fight. It took 2 goes, like, and it was epic. But yeah, I figured I'd add some audio to this one, just testing it out and all that. Also, yeah, a bit more personal. So, I guess, I don't know. Obviously, for those of you, I'm sure there are a fair amount of you who are familiar with Final Fantasy XII. I was waiting for the remaster or remake, whatever, for a very long time. Like, a very long time. I actually signed petitions and shit. Like, when it was still like, there are no plans to remaster, I was signing petitions. I was so happy when they actually fucking, you know, said, yeah, we're gonna do it. I was like, yes! And I gotta say, like, the ZODIAC job system it adds an extra dynamic, it really does. I remember the old one, it was like everyone started at a different place on the license board, but everyone could learn everything, you know. So I remember playing and it was like everyone pretty much had the same moveset and, you know, whatever, but it's a much more intelligent way to play. It really does add an extra kind of dynamic, a greater level of depth to what is, I believe, already like an excellent fucking game. And truth be told, I guess if I were to rank it against all the other Final Fantasy games that I played, like Final Fantasy XII is by far my favorite. Like, I mean, you know, I like the storyline, I appreciate it. It feels, you know, I feel like I could connect to it in terms of, you know, war, east and west, and getting caught up in the middle, and how the lives have been affected by a greater event, and, you know, ultimately just trying to make your way through, you know, with your parameters, you know. So yeah, job systems, job classes. So I chose Vaughn as an archer. I don't know why, I just felt like he needed a bow. He just seemed like he wanted a bow, so he's an archer. The second license board thing, only 2 people at the moment have done that, but I'll get into that in a hot second. So yeah, Vaughn is the archer. Currently, because of one of the hunts, he's got a burning bow, which effectively makes him the highest damage dealer out of everyone on the team. And I managed to, I don't remember what I sold to get it, but I have the fiery arrows, and my gosh, like in the Osman planes, you got the silicone tool, Titan tools, Titan, Titan toys, like toys, whatever, tortoise, you know, the fucking turtles, man. Like fuck it, like you know, those fucking level 37 turtles, and they're kind of you know, they're weak against fire. Equip that bad boy, and it was like fucking 3,000 damage. So what the fuck? Hey, man, that's amazing. So yeah, like Vaughn is just a beast right now. Um, this reminds me, I've got to equip these to these guys and gals. Right, so that's done. Cool. So yeah, next up. And by the way, I guess there's a limit on the video, so it's gonna be like an hour long. Like, so I don't know. I'm just talking, just you know, introduce myself, all that stuff. You know, I love video games. It's not a hobby. Like, it's I have no hobbies. Everything I do is an investment. It's all research and development, basically. I've always wanted to get into video games, like actually like being a part of it on the creation and you know the other side of things. I enjoy gaming as a pastime, you know, like, but it's more than just playing a game, you know, and my collection speaks for itself in that sense. I had a huge PS3, PS2, whatever collection. Obviously, at the time you have to sell those things, you know, money, whatever, whatever. My PS4 games, I only have very specific games, and most of them are RPGs. Like, I'm very specific about what I play, just like what I listen to. I make music. If you're interested, soundcloud.com/Diego Brown. Moniker is the Free Man, so you can check that out. I drop verses under the alias John Digger, hence, you know, John Digger 1, as I use that as the altar, you know, for when I'm doing stuff outside of my music and that. So yeah, I love this game. So back to it. So that was the first. So now, obviously Battlefield started with a gun, so it just makes sense for Battlefield to keep going with a gun. So I guess that's the machinist or the machinist. I forget how to pronounce it. But obviously what I found is like, you know, and yeah, this is how I get into it. Before I go into that, actually. So my kind of, and I think I'm just gonna run with that for the rest of the game until, you know, necessary. What I kind of like to do, what I have been doing for most of the game, well, from the the Sansi section, I started. Initially, it was just to get them to level up, you know, and that. But I quite like doing it this way anyway. Like, 'cause you learn a lot. But I only have one party member out at any given time, basically. So, you know, so that obviously the end goal is to be able to handle any situation pretty much with just one character, so that when it comes to actually dealing with a boss, like I beat an Esper with one person, the first Esper, you know, it was fun. Well, Vossler was about, so there was support, but you know, I would have been able to take him out, or it out with just Vaughn, like, if Vossler wasn't there. And, you know, fuck Vossler. you know what I'm saying, like, fuck Vossler. So, you know, he helped out with the hunts, like, having him there, had the extra firepower, but couldn't wait for him to disappear, man. It was just like, fuck Vossler. Like, you know, but yeah, so, how I ended up choosing the second license board, which for Balthier I chose the Monk. It just kind of, when you think about his general mannerisms and stuff, it just sort of makes sense. Like, he's quite monk-like. You know, he's cool. He's just chilling in the back, like, you know. But the reason I ended up picking the monk in the first place, or even getting the second license board, is because I hit a wall, and this is what I'm saying about only running around with one person at a time. Because obviously, if you choose if you only have one character out, you learn a lot about their class, their strengths and weaknesses, versus various monsters and fiends and enemies and whatever else. Um, and then from that, you can then make a more informed decision as to what their second class should be. So in this particular instance, I was I was venturing into territory that I probably shouldn't have entered straight off the bat. Like it's too early. Like, but there's what is it, the Zertinan or whatever caverns. You can get into them via the Sandsea, and I encountered a bunch of flans and guns. Guns are worthless. They're useless against the flans. So it was like I needed something in situations like that to be able to compensate. So, and obviously, the gun loading times are really slow too. So I chose the monk because of the pole. I did a bit of research as well, on different classes and who's good for this and who's good for that and whatever, and then from that I made my own sort of decision as to what I felt he should, be, So he's like a gun-toting monk, basically. Yeah, and it's all good. Fran, I made her the time battle mage, because I remember way back when I played in the PS2, she sees a bow a lot, but I figured I've already got an archer, so, and magic is important, and I wanted that to still be a ranged combatant, so time battle mage, it worked out pretty well, but the only thing about it's the downside to the time battle mage is very quick, shots non-stop, but the downside to that, or whatever, the con of the time battle mage is a really low HP, so it's like, as you can see, like, a lot of people are approaching, like, now she is, like, but everyone is, approaching 3,000 bar Penelo now, yeah, like, when everyone was like 2,500 or whatever they are, like, Fran was still at like under like 1,500 or something, and it's just not really cutting it, so it was like I needed to pick a class that would give her, more health points, basically. And I didn't really want to make her like a mage, I don't have a black mage or a white mage because, like, everyone kind of covers bases a little bit. Like, I mean, Balthea, I haven't gained access to it yet, but because of the positioning of the, it was lucky. It was luck in a sense, basically. But because of the positioning of this quickening, I now have access to bravery and curager. So once I've got those high health replenishing, capabilities, so I don't really need a white mage per se. There are a few moves that I'd like to have a hold of, like for example, but we'll get into that in a second. So yeah, I chose the knight just because all the other classes that I hadn't picked and whatever weren't really saying much, and it's cool. Got the swords. I did want access to the great swords, and then again, as luck would have it, because of the positioning of that, I now have access to that whenever I find it, which is cool. The extra health was good, extra kind of battle laws, so more damage. Damage dealing capabilities at this present moment are pretty cool. And, once I free up some license points, quickly switch over to a sword if need be. All good. Guess a shield too. Safe. Um, so yeah, next, um, oh, equipment. Before I get get ahead of myself. So yeah, at the moment I've only got I'm using the iron pole, which is handy, and the Sirius, I believe, is the gun that I've got available. Though it appears that I may have sold it by accident, which is fine. I'll just get it again at some point, but whatever. No, I'll probably find a stronger one in a bit now that I've moved on. And right now we got the Paramina crossbow. And I like the kind of subtle differences in this game because, like, for example, there is a if you beat both in the PS2 version, if you beat both demon walls, you may or may not gain access to a chest that may or may not contain Demon's Bane. And then there was also this thing where you had to go through this long process, and then you might find a blood sword, and that was, I remember when I read the walkthroughs and stuff, it was like that's how you set yourself up to be pretty powerful straight off the bat, like early in the game, and that was swords in it. But I found a blood sword just in a random chest, and you know, I don't really need the Demon's Bane, and up until now no one was capable of equipping swords anyway, so whatever. But I do like the little switch ups, like, and I guess maybe because I'm older and I play differently, you know, the way I look at these games and the mechanics and the use of items and weapons and stuff, it's just a bit different as well. So, but I do really like what they've done with this game. You know, it's great. Okay, so next we have, so yeah, Time Battle Mage Knight, gun toting monk, archer. I made Bosch the samurai basically, and gave him the bushy. Like, you know, it just made sense. Like, if I remember rightly, the animations for Vaughn when he used the katana in the PS2 version, it looked a lot cooler. Like, he went in, he'd like bend right in and be like, pop, pop, pop. He's mad, like, what, you know, like, you know, Ush is cool. He's like them ones that just kind of stand there, like the kendo type, you know, just quick sweat, pop, pop, yeah, you're good, you're done. Yeah, man, pretty powerful. I haven't had an opportunity to use sight unseen yet, because no one's inflicted blind and I don't have access to blind, so that's something to consider if you're using a class that has sight unseen and you want access to that. Like, obviously this move, as it says, it's only available when you're blind, so of course if you can inflict blind upon yourself at any given point, you know, that would be handy. So I haven't been able to use that yet. However, I have, been using Shades of Black recently, and that is pretty fucking nifty. I mean, you know, it's hit and miss, like, because it's random, but it's amazing to just have access to all the high level, you know, the highest level fucking black magics, and like, without even needing to consume MP or have a license for it or whatever. It's just very cool. It's a very handy move. Also, horology, like, I never really saw the merit in that move back in, but I didn't have a great understanding of it. Like, horology is a technique that damages your opponent based on a factor of time, and that factor of time is essentially, I forget the exact formula, but it's basically your stats, like, times a random number, and the amount of damage output is dependent upon the minute hand, the number of the second minute that you're in. So if it's at, like, you know, so like at like 10 minutes or something like that, you know, like, you know, it'd be like 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and so on. Like, so the higher that is, you know, the more damage it will do, basically. So the maximum damage that you can do at any given point using horology would be when you enter the 9th minute. Like, so knowing that, and then like just keeping tabs on that, like, so it's like, you know, the moment you start to hit, like, the moment you hit like the 6th minute, you know, then you can just switch it up and just start like hitting everyone with like horology and like you know, I've used it and taken out like 6 or 7 fucking enemies at once. So, and it's just great to see. It just looks really good. That's another thing I really love about this game. You feel so immersed when you're playing, and like, you know, the animations, the everything about this game is just great. I love it. I really do. So yeah, horology is one. I'm not a fan of numerology. Like, I just don't. It's too inaccurate, you know, because obviously it's like the damage output doubles every time it lands, but the moment it doesn't, the moment it flops, like, it resets itself to like 1, which is stupid. So, you know, it's just really annoying. I don't like numerology. But Traveler is another really good one, one that I didn't really have a great understanding of when I first played the game, but now after using it and reading a little bit about how it actually works, that is a great fucking technique too. Like, that has real damage dealing potential. Like, it's Traveler is based off the number of steps that you take during the game, and it basically logs your steps from 1 to 999 and then resets itself. Like, so if you keep track of that, I mean, it's like, it's really easy to take 100 steps, because you can just, you count it unconsciously, you know. It's like, take 10 steps in like a couple of seconds, you know. So yeah, and then the damage output, once you decide to use it, it's crazy. It's really, really good, man. You have to kind of, you know, it limits the amount of times that you can actually use it, but when you do use it, it's fucking worth it, you know. So yeah, man. So yeah, because of the damage dealing potential, or the output of Bosch at the moment as the Bushy, with the Bushy class, I haven't needed to actually use the to unlock a second board yet, because, you know, flying type monsters at the moment, if I show you the Gambit for Bosch, like flying type Shades of Black, I haven't used Sight Unseen yet, and then the attacks are alright, because, you know, I found this, the Magoroku, in another chest, and that was cool. Yes, another thing, if you run around, obviously, side note, but it still fits. When you're running around, like, the more party members you have running around, like, in battle, like, the less experience points each character gains after defeating an enemy. So if you want to level your characters up quickly, then, like, the best way to do that would be to have as few people out as possible. I'd say 1, because once you get to a point and you know what you're doing, you only need 1 person out there. You know, right moves and stuff, right gambits, you're good to go. And then equip the embroidered tippet, like, because it doubles the experience. So it's like, you know, say for example in the Sansi, like, all those bloody, you know, critters or whatever, like, them crustacean humanoids or whatever that run around. Like, when one character defeats them, they give off about like 3 to 400 experience points. So double that, it's like 600. Like, you know, you can level up quite quickly, and then, you know, the geezer planes, like the frogs, like, or whatever, you know, the toads. Uh, it's like 800, 825, I think. So double that. You know, you're leveling up swiftly. Like, um, yeah, man. So that's what I'm doing right now. But I also just enjoy just having the one person out there and just like, you know, dealing with everyone based on their class and, you know, whatever. It just works. And then if I need to bring more people out, then I do. You know, but it's not usually required. So yeah. So next we've got Ash. I made her the Shikari. Obviously she starts with a sword, but I figured, you know, Bash is like, you know, easy in the katana, and, you know, I figured she'd do well with, like, you know, straight dagger, you know. As the Shikari, that's got really quick, you know, DPS, damage per second. And I found the main Gosh, or whatever, in another chest. Great, I was using the chopper before, so I haven't gone back to using her yet, because I'm now just getting everyone to level 33, because that's how it worked out. So, but yeah, man, like, yeah, it's really good. The ninja swords, interesting thing that they've done with this license board is, like, the ninja swords are behind quickening tabs, if you will, squares. So there are 4 squares, and you can only gain access to 3 quickenings. So you can't get all of the ninja swords in one playthrough with one Shikari, basically. So you gotta pick. So I would, like, obvious choice is to make sure that you get hold of the Aggie Dark Blade and the Nether, because they are the strongest and second strongest ninja swords. Obviously you're not going to get them for a hot second, but, you know, when you get them, you want to have access to the license so you can use them, right? Then you have Ninja Swords 1, which is, you know, all your standard ninja swords. And then the Eager Blade and the Koga Blade. Now I did a bit of research because I wasn't sure as to which one I wanted, but to be honest, I'm not really fussed about either. To be fair, the Koga Blade and the Ninja Blade, according to what I read, basically have the same stats. The difference is one has a water element attached and one has the earth element attached. So, you know, whatever, pick one. Like, you know, in the wiki and that, it was saying that they'd recommend that you let go, you forego getting this one, but I mean, personally, I think that's kind of stupid, because these, until you gain access to these, like the Agu and the Meza, these are gonna be your fucking, the first ninja blades, ninja swords that you come across. Essentially, these are your main ninja swords. Like, you know, and considering the fact that the Shikari has access to all the daggers and that, why would you forego your ninja swords, your main ninja swords, like, for these? Like, that doesn't really make sense, especially considering the fact that they have an element attached to them, so you're not always going to be able to use them. Like, it just doesn't make sense, but, you know, each to their own. So yeah, she's a Shikari, and again, because of the high damage output, the speed, even though she's a bit weaker than some of the other characters at the moment, it's like the speed at which she attacks makes up for it. So it's like, you know, DPS is important, right? Like, so yeah, and then you've got access to some good techniques, you know. So yeah, and then Penelo, I made her the red battle mage, because obviously right at the very beginning, you only have Pedello and Vaughn, so it made sense to me. You know, I wanted her to be able to handle a ship, basically. You know, like so she works well as support class from the very beginning. You know, with access to you know, decent healing magic. It's really good to have dark straight off the bat. You know, you don't really have to use it, but then if you get overwhelmed, just quickly cast that and good to go. Decoy worked well. You know, having slow and immobilize, all of that good stuff. You know, protect and shell from quite early. And then because of where I wound up with this, you know, you've got a couple of those. Really though, I don't really use them, you know, items quicker. But, you know, got good access to things. All of these, you gain access to them from what I've read. Once you have access to the Esper, the corresponding Esper, you'll gain potentially access to these on the outer limbs. So make sure you keep that in mind when you're deciding who you want an Esper to be attached to, because like this one is of no consequence really, like, but obviously like there are some real, like for example the ultimate blade here is a great sword. Claymore, defender, save the queen. I need an Esper to get those, you know, etc, etc. So yeah, but the red battle mage for me, like, is a really good class, all rounded, like a lot of magic, decent damage output, you know, like, yeah, and even though the health points aren't as high as some of the others, you cover base, you got the healing magic to keep yourself going and stuff. So alright, so yeah man, that's essentially like the breakdown of all of my characters currently. You know, I'm up to date pretty much with like all their you know, all their equipment. Found the shell shield quite early, so that's handy, and it made sense to put it on Penelo because she's the main magic dealer, so now don't have to worry about casting shell. You know, makes sense. Sacrifice evasion, but doesn't matter. Like, so yeah. I have access to the next level of those, but as you can see, vitality and speed drop, you know, and I think like an extra 3 points of defense and magic resist and 2 points on magic power is not really a great trade-off for, you know, such a steep reduction in vitality and speed, you know, so I don't really need to use those, like, so I'm not gonna equip them to either of these guys, like, it's not required. But yeah, so I've only just entered this area, and as you can see, it's like, it's just swift. It's just what you do. How that activated when the dude died, I have no idea, but whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. Yeah, you've only really got access to techniques, but this is all you need. Really. I haven't used that yet, so I don't even know what it looks like right now. I haven't needed to use infused. But yeah, so let's see what magic gets cast against this guy. Okay, so we got silence first. I guess that was a sneaky flame on. one. I don't even know what that is, but it's dope. It does a lot of damage. There's this other one, I don't know what it's called, but it's like this portal opens up and heads just get hit by this dirt beam, like it's just horrible. It's just so fucked up. You just get mad. It's crazy. Why are you running away? Look at this pussy. Did you see that? You saw that, right? You got hit once, he was like, nah, fuck that, I'm out. That was ridiculous. Dude actually ran away. Fucking Garuda ran away from me. That's how powerful it was right now. Just like, nah, fuck this, I'm out here. Yeah, interestingly, like these guys, like, I mean, you know, I don't really like to kill them because, like, you know, they are really of like no consequence. Firstly, I guess there's a whole cute factor involved. Also, like, if you leave them alone for long enough, and they will actually help you out, like, on the field. Like if you're low on health points, like they will heal you if you hang around for long enough, and they don't attack unless you know you attack them. And again, as I said, like they're of no consequence. So if I do kind of attack them, it's just to kind of complete the bestiary, you know. But interestingly, these ones, like these ones, the geezer ones or whatever, I forget where they were. Yeah, the geezer rabbits or whatever. They actually use like white magics, like they cure you. Whereas what I found with these is they actually just throw a potion at you. So it's interesting. But yeah. Sorry, mate. Cheers for the bread of wood. Months of how far are we to actually completing this bestiary? Them, so I can actually stop killing them. But I don't actually. I get no joy out of it. Where are these things? Are you not sure? Have I passed it? Osmond Plains. Oh, do they come under the same thing? Right, it seems. Where are these things? Yeah, no. Happy Bunny. Yes, they come under the same. Okay, so I don't even need to map them. That's fine. Right. Yeah. See, yeah, man. Like, this one was just, I don't know. Like, yeah, just, you know, give a bit insight into why I enjoy this game. You know, keep you up to date, show you where I'm at the moment, how I play and stuff, you know, kind of my thought processes and stuff. And I guess to kind of introduce myself to anyone who decides to check out my channel. You know, periodically I'll be uploading, you know, clips from various games that I play over the course of time, amongst other things. Oh, this should be interesting. What level are you? Alright. Oh, it's rubbish though. You get mad, but come on, let's go. Oh, they got nice health though. Let's see what they're damage. Nah man, dead thing. You see how little damage they're doing, bro? I'm a beast right now. It's just ridiculous. Oh, that was nice. You see, man, it's the bushy, like. Hush is the bushy, bushy hush, jeez, but yeah, man. Yeah, periodically, you know, I'll be uploading clips from various games that I played them, and at some point I guess I'll organize them into sort of, well, you know, separate playlists and what have you. Yeah, so that's me, man. Like, this game is great. Like, if you've never played it and you're into RPGs, I highly recommend Final Fantasy XII. If you're not into RPGs but you're curious, then if for nothing else but just the general experience, the kind of the sort of strategic element behind this, you know, if you like games that get your brain going a little, you know, make you think a bit about what you're doing and when you're doing it, as opposed to, you know, just those button bashing games or just those ridiculously rapid things, you know, like, or, you know, if you're not a Call of Duty player, I don't play Call of Duty. Like, I bought Doom, like, that game's ridiculous. Like, it's so intense, I can only complete that game. Like, I can only play that game one level at a time, and I've left it for so long now that I'll probably just start again. Like, that game is fucking ridiculous. But yeah, yeah, if you're not someone who's just looking for a quick, you know, whatever, because like Final Fantasy XII, as you can see, I've put like almost 60 hours into this, and I'm not that far into the game. I only have one Esper, and there are, I think, like 12 or 13, I forget. You know, there's so much to do in this game. Like, you know, I mean, the landscapes, the level designs, like the overall gameplay, the game mechanics, the gambit system, things like that, the animations, the amount of work, time and effort, the music in this game, like everything about it is just wonderful. It has a really kind of calming effect on me, which is another reason that I play this game, because, you know, my brain goes off all over the shop. I'm quite a sensitive dude, like in terms of just energy, you know, all of that. And I'm an introvert essentially for the most part, you know. I mean, you know, I hang with people, you know, I do my thing. I make music and that, obviously, you know, so, but, you know, it's nice to just be able to, I spend a lot of time on my own when I'm not in the lab. It's nice to have something like this to just tidy over the music and the gameplay and all of that. It gives rise to, you know, ideas for new music and stuff, like, so if you know, you've never played, look at that, Shades of Black. But yeah, if you're looking for a decent game that will like tide you over for a period of time, like, you know, that you can go back to at some point, and that will feel like it. I'm gonna switch off this gambit because it's just gonna keep going. I'll put it behind. So yeah, the gambit system, from 1 to whatever number of gambits you have unlocked, it will go in that order. So these are my attack gambits, but because that was in front of it, it just won't get round to attacking. It's annoying, you know. Just get stuck in this loop. Just delete them and be done. Oh, what you're good. Right. It's fine. They'll get done. Right, it's fine. Oh.
You cannot pass.
It was bound to happen. And now that was it. I like things like that because it's quite unpredictable, you see, as well. Like, you don't know. Like, imagine if I had, like, even 2 characters out, that KO would not have taken place. Like, yeah, if you're looking for a game that has a pretty cool storyline, great music, you know, cool game mechanics, it looks nice, it has like a kind of therapeutic, kind of calming, sort of soothing element to it. You know, just makes you think. You know, it's quite strategic and stuff and whatever. It's pretty different, I would say, to like conventional RPGs that are like, whether they're like regular turn-based or like active time battle, like or whatever and stuff. The gambit system and everything. You know, all of that. Highly recommend this one. This is a great moment, I think, for the franchise in my opinion. But yeah, clips are like, I think it only allows you to record about an hour. I'm not sure how long it's give you a bit of insight. Oh wow, okay, yeah, may have to bring out some. I may have to bring out another character. This is good. Reasons to bring out a second character. It wasn't. Why is she not healing? I don't understand. Because of the gambit. There we go. So yes, here's something for you now. Alright, so I've got that. I changed this to self because of the fact that I was only using one. I don't know how much time I've got left to record, but whatever gets shown from this point, you know, is bonus. So, you know, but big ups for watching. Like, but yeah, so extra gambit. Give you an idea. Ally HP 60%. Cure. Set that head of these. Not good to go. Right. Yeah. Great stuff. Alright. Well, yeah. John Digger 1 on YouTube. You know, check me out. You can find me on Facebook, Diego Diggs Brown. Instagram, Diego Brown. You know, SoundCloud, Freeman. You're interested in what you hear, you can check out my album on Spotify, self-titled The Freeman. Buy it off Amazon or, you know, Gino download, digital tunes, 7 digital, etc, etc, etc. You know, I'm always making new content and that and whatever. Like, so yeah. Hit me up, connect, man. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Peace. That's the one. That meme is ridiculous. Alright, that's it.